Okay, so what a great day this has been, and thank you very much, Pooja, for introducing us, introducing such a great, I call it community panel that we have here. Before I say anything else, how many cyclists in the house? Can you show me can I have a raise of hands, please? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Me kind of 7, 8. So still a lot of room. So let me, set the wheels in motion with a thought. In Netherlands, there are more bicycles than there are people. And in India, which has 1.4 billion citizens, if I'm right, the figure is correct, you can say yes, no, I will be more involved or not involve everyone. We are still fighting for space, literally, in terms of the infrastructure and also with the culture. But of course, things are changing. There is a state level shift to the missions that are happening. At the same time, there's city level infrastructure pushes, like we have exclusive cycling lanes, which have been built in cities like Bhopal. So a lot is happening on the global front, but on India front, things are still slowly and steadily moving ahead. And then we have brands like HCM, who are taking the lead further by contributing towards it. Though we know that as far as the sports globally is concerned, we still have a long way to go. In the Olympics, I don't think we are still on the medal, but on the Asian level, we still have one or two athletes who have made a prominent mark. So let me start by welcoming two people who have been behind this and start with the very first initial question because we are talking about the HCL Cyclethon. Let's get into it straight away. Where did it start? What exactly is the context? And how did two such amazing organizations come together to build something which is of so much importance and of course which has been looked forward to by cycling enthusiasts both on the school level, I think, as well as on, I would say, is it older audience as well? I'll let you all dive into it and understand how it actually works.
Well, thank you. I think, and good evening, everyone. Lovely to be here. Thank you, Karan. Thank you, Mandeep, for inviting HCL to be part of this program. And you have put us in the fireside chat. We are in the firing line. We're just between the entertainment and the ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be very short. So HCL as a company, we of course we are a tech company, but we also go beyond tech. We have invested in multiple areas. Sports is one of them, which is actually very close to the heart of the founders and the first family of trustees. So which is where our investments in other areas have come. Sport in cycling, or I would say sports specifically, cycling was an automatic choice because I think, let me ask you a question. सबसे पहला gift a parent gives to their child, apart from of course toys and everything, what is that? It's a cycle, right? So we said that the cycling is a life skill. It's more than a sport. It's basically walking, running, cycling, swimming. All these are life skills. Why not invest in that? Yeah, of course, there was a lot of potential. We had a discussion, kind of a initial discussion with Maninder and of course Vikas in terms of how to go about this. And I think what we found out was that rather than just investing into the sport at a pro level, it's good to, and it's actually a great thing to do, to involve all people from all walks of life. Whether it's professionals, amateurs, people who want to cycle but are not able to cycle, and who cycle for fun and all of that, right? So, since Cyclethon is a platform where everyone comes together for the joy of cycling. That's the device. That's how we introduce it. We have done 6 editions, 3 cities, 12,000 cyclists overall, and of course more reach in that sense. And all that, I think, I would say that, and Karan was mentioning about purpose-led kind of thinking that we have. Our purpose is fueled from the passion, right? It's a passion for sports. And till the time, internal stakeholders, government, federations,
go forward, because collaboration in any case between a cycling federation and a brand, and there has to, that the ethos of the brand has to resonate, because it's not a one-time thing, it's a long-term game. So how do you guys come about and make sure what kind of cycling format you follow? Because cycling currently, if I may say, is not just about, it's not just a fitness game, right? It is eco-friendliness. It is also about competitive sport. So what format of cycling, how you want to collaborate, how does the whole thing come from?
Okay, so to answer that, we'll have to go a little back into how we started and where we started. So you rightly said, cycling is something we are all associated. You might not be doing it professionally, but at some point of your life, you must have cycled. Now, the journey from rank 179 out of 185 countries to, and I'm sure it's not a very pleasant thing to know that people don't know about it, but to being number one in the juniors of the world in a span of 4 years.
Sir, I will have to stop you. This kind of applause for this kind of achievement doesn't work.
In 2018, from absolutely down under to becoming the champion of the world. That phase was important, and it had a very specific meaning. We just wanted to be highlighted on a stage where people know that we have the protection. Now, coming to how we associate with LCA. So Karan just mentioned something on the stage, that one phase that really stuck my heart was the business of sports. The journey from not being in the helm of corporates and talking about how to make the business of sports, business for sports, to bring them out to business of sports. You need to invest in it. Right? You need to invest in that cycling. Now, I was in a conclave a few days back as well, where we were speaking, and there was a talk about the entertainment business, where so somebody from entertainment mentioning that the might that we are fighting against, for example, Netflix, who are their competitors? He said people mistakenly have made it between the channels. It's Netflix versus Geo Hotstar versus CY. They are fighting. No. They said our fight is not on us, our fight is among people who are sleeping. We don't want people to sleep. The volume is so huge, people should be up to watch what we are showing. So that made us think, are we competing against other sports? That's the general opinion. Olympic sports are suffering because of cricket. No, that's not the fact. That's what we have to realize. We are not competing against cricket. We are not competing against other sports. We are competing against the fringes, the tuition centers, the schools where kids spend morning 5 to evening 5. Where is the time for sports? So we need to get people out of their homes, out of these tuition centers, out of these places to get back on the streets for athletics, for cycling. So that's where the thought started. That's where we connected. That's where we had the same synergies. Like Rajat said, it is they might not be into the business of making Olympic champions, but we are. But how do we get there? We need people to keep riding cycle. We want parents to ride cycle. Once a parent rides a cycle, he knows what cycle to buy. This is a good activity which the whole family can do. You can go on a ride. If a kid asks for a cycle, which is as expensive as a few lakhs, the parent has to know what cycle is. And then he will get it. And that is where we connected with HCL to get people out of the roads, to explore the fun part of it. And once you get people out there, you know that your pyramid is getting broader. The broader it is, the higher it will go, and the top peak is of course the Olympic medal. So that's how we connect. That's where our mindset has changed, and especially after the pandemic, where we realize that people are open to cycling. The number of sales that went up. So that was something that really drove us into thinking of getting into business also.
Thank you, sir. I completely agree with you. One, there has been a major mindset shift after COVID. We all realize what is the importance of fitness. Even things which were like literally sleeping behind in our mind, it has come forward. And once you realize that you're passionate about something, taking it up professionally makes even more sense. It's just about the discovery. And I think there was so much pressure on the earlier generations on just focusing on certain levels of streamlined study that sports was never made a center of focus. And I think with the new generation, things are shifting. And thanks to a lot of initiatives that are happening from the government. And I see hopefully people will not just be glued to the screens or their books, but they will realize that once you get into any kind of sport, it is kind of an overall development for your overall personality. And you then, if your mind is free, then everything else automatically follows. Too much of yarn on that, but let me come to something now when it comes to a cyclotron. What was the element that kind of surprised you? Okay, so let me just give a little context here and ask you, say, Ride London or Tour de France. These are some of the events which are popularly known, globally known, and it's not just about the event happening over a period of certain days, but it's also about the community coming together. There are community-driven events that happen. There are policy changes which are happening so that not only that the event itself is highlighted, but the peripherals are also highlighted. Do you see that kind of a shift happening in India?
So, I will take an alternate example. What marathons have done for and fitness generally, right? I think the marathon revolution started somewhere in early 2000s. We're still, I think, 22 years, and there are umpteen number of marathons happening. Of course, there are flagship ones, but there are umpteen number of marathons happening in every part of India, right? This is where cycling, maybe, I would say, cyclothons are happening, right? And cyclothon, of course, people think that is a cycling rally, or everyone just comes together and things like that. But if you incorporate, like I said, bring everyone together, professionals, where they are the pinnacle of best in class excellence kind of format. Amateurs will get to see them. People like us get to see them. And then only there is inspiration which comes in, right? And that is how the cyclotron format came up. We're still at a very early stage. But like Marinda said, the grassroots or the pyramid will increase, the foundation will increase. And maybe another 5-10 years, we will have, like you said, maybe a tour event. I'm saying 5-10 years, it may be early also. It all depends on the Cycling Federation and the ministry, but yes, of course. So I think it's a stepping stone. And also, like I said, wherever we are doing cyclothons as of now, the good part is the government is very keen. They know the importance of this, of sports and cycling specifically. All the governments, whether it's UP government, Tamil Nadu government, the Telangana government, everyone is keen to do that because they understand this. Second, the administration is supporting it. The cyclothon format will only work when you have free roads, open, no traffic, no congestion, all that will work. And also, of course, the police and everyone, this comes together. So, stepping stone, we'll see how it goes.
So, with cycling, see around the world, again, if I compare, this question comes in as a parallel. People are taking the cycles to work, to their offices. It's for daily commute, is what I mean. It's not just about fitness or taking it at a higher level. But in India, whether we like it or we don't like it, one, of course, the infrastructure is a major issue. Safety is a very big issue. We have a lot of communities. Anyone who's a part of any cycling group, say here? Anyone? I have one which is there yesterday. We have a few people who are there as a part of the cycling groups. So the communities are huge. And then even their brands, even Decathlon for that matter, Firefox, they also have their individual communities, which is not just about selling the cycle, but again, it is about bringing people together and creating that movement that we are looking at. So now coming to where India will stand, we have these smart city missions also which are coming up. Chandigarh is one where policy changes are happening. And what do you feel is the future? Do you see, like, of course, there are these competitive sports like Olympics, which are the state level, national level. What about Indian Cycling League? Is there something like that in the pipeline? I mean, there's so many leagues coming in.
Okay, just a quick mention of when we talk about Tour de France and the carriers and everything. So, the good news is we are coming out with an event in the lines of Tour de France, which is going to be first event of that scale in the country. We just signed the MOU with the government of Maharashtra.
So it's already done.
It's already done. So it's going to be huge. It's coming to India. Okay, now the second.
Sorry, I'm so curious and enthusiastic about it. How long?
So this is the dates are not finalized yet, but tentatively